Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hair Raiser Podcast.
Welcome to the show. In this episode, SDSU names Dan Jackson as the new head football coach. The men and women open up Summit League play, and we'll take a trip around the rest of the Summit League with beer from EBC Brewing in Brookings. We'll make a stop in the Lincoln Corner, and of course, we'll get to your favorite game, the thing that you would not want to start the new year without: 3 headlines and a lie. You know what, guys? Maybe I might have been a little too little premature on the EBC beer. Is anybody doing the dry January?
No,
I don't have a drinking problem, so I don't feel like I need to do dry January. Sorry.
Mark just laughed.
Are you doing dry January? No, I have a Homestead beer in front of me.
Oh, okay. I didn't just want to presume.
No, I don't have. If I want to have one beer, I can stop and have one beer. I don't have a drinking problem, which means I do not need to prove to myself that I don't need to drink.
I don't.
Okay, geez,
Cheers.
Personal on that one.
I'm just saying.
I don't think that's yeah. I don't think that's why that came about. By the way, I did see in
think
yet
it
another
is,
thing,
isn't it?
Particular. I don't know that it's necessarily that you have a problem. If you have a problem, you should have a dry beer. I mean,
is that where No Shave November comes from? Because you have a shaving problem?
Your job, I don't know that stopping in January and then getting right back after in February is going to be the best move.
Right.
No, I did No Shave November because I have a shaving problem.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I don't know.
Maybe you do get a little upset if we ask you if you're not drinking.
No.
You didn't make it 72 days? Isn't that what it was? The soft
75 hard?
Something?
No, the 75 hard wasn't because I couldn't drink. It was because I didn't get the exercise in.
I thought it was because you couldn't read.
What's that, Gerlach?
I thought it was because you couldn't read.
I know how to read. I didn't have time to get the reading in, yes.
Well, if anybody owns stock in Constellation Brands or Anheuser-Busch InBev, you would be surely aware that alcohol apparently causes cancer.
Oh, yeah. If you want to stop people from drinking, just throw out there causes cancer. And then suddenly everybody's like, oh no, alcohol is bad for me. That's what it took, was somebody to say alcohol is not good for, alcohol is not healthy for you. I think we've known that for a long time, right? And nobody's drinking booze to be like, wow, I'm going to get super fit because of these 16 beers I just drank. No. A lot of dumb people in the world that just listen to everything. I think it proved itself out during COVID.
Jeez, all right, Phil.
dropping a hammer on everybody.
Going off the top rope. I can hardly wait to see your opinions on everything else going on.
No kidding.
I got to tell you what, the little X or Twitter, the button on the phone was just melting. I turned off posts. I took myself out of threads, group chats. That phone just never stopped dinging this week. I'll let you guys just take it over. I removed myself from the whole fray. But
was it all
we can just start with the fact that Dan Jackson, who played at South Dakota State from 2003 to 2005 and also was on the staff as a graduate assistant in 2012, cornerback coach in 2014, also served as recruiting coordinator and special teams coordinator under Stig. He is now your new head football coach at South Dakota State University.
I thought all the chiming on your phone was still from Jimmy Carter and the planning of the funeral and praising him for everything he has done since he's been president. Huh?
Maybe I turned that off too. That I didn't see as much of.
Oh.
I will focus that on Thursday.
Have they buried him yet? Don't they put him on display for a month and then put him in the ground?
On display? It's not a piece of art.
I think he is on
display. Lion State at the Capitol.
Yeah, which means he's on display.
Yes.
Do they fly all the public servants out there to touch the casket and then go back home?
No.
Oh, but you do get the day off.
Yeah.
Does the stock market trade?
Nope.
wonder if we're open.
Well, you don't go anyway, so what does that matter?
Yeah. I don't go where? To work? I'm
always at work. Blue Pickup is not there often. You must be out visiting customers.
It's the busy season.
Is it really?
Yeah, we're updating balance sheets and stuff. So why are you spying on me? I have more questions.
I just want to find I-29, the bypass. I might take a little peek over in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Stop at McDonald's.
No, there's the NASDAQ, nor does the New York Stock Exchange trade on Thursday. I believe the bond market is open.
Okay.
No offices.
So getting back to your question, Dan Jackson. I think that's a great hire. I don't think anybody is disappointed in it. I'm intrigued to see who his staff is. The Benedetto head football coach from Jefferson has resigned to take on a college coaching gig. So I don't know if he's going to SDSU or following his brother to, where does his brother go? Maybe Fresno State or New Mexico, one of the two. I'll look that up, or Mark can look that up. It looks like he got most of a lot of guys back. I've heard Angel Johnson is going to Washington State. Who else? Griffin Wilde is gone to Northwestern, which isn't surprising. I thought he actually might land at Iowa. Gronowski had a visit at Iowa, and it won't surprise me if he would end up there. But it won't surprise me if Gronowski ended up at Northwestern either. The great thing is we might get a play against Griffin Wilde in 2 years when we go to Chicago for the SDSU Northwestern game. Are you going to be there, Gerlach?
Am I going to be around in 2 years? I don't know. I got my ABC beer here.
Apparently it's bad for you.
Right.
Up until 2 weeks ago, beer was not bad for you. But right now, everybody's going to die.
That's right. No moving boxes, just the final box, as I was told earlier.
Tucker Large is going to, this is according to Tanner Castora, is going to Washington State as well.
Is that true? Because he pulled it back.
Yep.
He pulled that back the other day. He said that.
Sure did.
He got over his skis on that one.
He tweeted
just like you and Keystone, Mark.
My bad.
Yep.
Which I did enjoy the follow-up than why tweet it at all. But
right, if he didn't know, because everybody wants to be first. They got to get the clicks.
That Twitter was smoking hot. I ended it.
Did you guys get involved in the contacting players? And
No. Who would do that? Why would I ever contact players?
I don't know.
I barely gave them nobody.
Oh, Tanner did come out and apologize for tweeting this prematurely, and I apologize. There's still a chance. Still a chance.
That's old news, Mario. That's 19 hours.
I put the Twitter away for a few 3-4 days. This is my first time back on it.
You went dry January on Twitter?
I went dry Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It was getting old after a while. It's stuff like that coming out.
So far, you're a little dry today, so you're on board.
Got to get over that cold.
I'm having a Fulton Sweet Child Divine.
All right.
I don't know what is that beer?
Yes.
You need to drink some bourbon before you go to bed. Some single malt or some scotch, maybe some scotch, and then put your socks on and then put plastic bags with onions in there.
Jeepers. I didn't know where you were going with that. That's like a pretty awful turn.
The bourbon
drink you're talking about is Vicks Vapor Rub on your feet and then put your socks on.
The bourbon drink is a toddy, a hot toddy.
Well, okay, great.
So do we know anything else?
I'm anxious to know who is.
Do we have a list of who's staying and who's going?
Yeah, Matt is keeping track of that.
Matt Zimmer?
Matt Tollefson of Jackrabbit Illustrated. So I think he has a list of who is still here and who is not. Our big defensive lineman went to Iowa. Kirby Voorhees, I think, is going to Washington State. Angel Johnson, I think, is going to Washington State. I don't know. The big defensive lineman.
to get back to what you're saying, what is the? I mean, yeah, it's interesting to read and it's good. People keep track of it and it's newsworthy. But I mean, what's really the point of getting? Oh, did you hear they're going here? All right, well, I don't know. All I know is that coming up in August, they're going to host Sacramento State to start the year, and I plan to be there tailgating and cheering on the team that shows up.
Right, out on the field.
I agree, and that's what I said last week, that what happens now doesn't affect us. It's what happens in the fall. So put some trust in Justin Sell, the new coaching staff, and make sure they put a competitive team on the field this fall. Isn't that the goal?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's that's what they're working at, right? And don't kid yourself, Dan Jackson, he has enough contacts too to know who's not coming back, and there's plenty of players in the portal. So, are we losing? Yeah, Matthew. Okay, here's the list if you wanted. Guys going to Washington State: Matthew Durant, Cale Reeder, Jack Stevens, which is odd. I thought Jack Stevens would go to Iowa, being that his brother is a kicker at Iowa. Angel Johnson and Kirby Voorhees. Okay, good for them. Go. It's not as many as we anticipated as of right now. Other Dawson Rudd is going to Tarleton. Jalen Lee is going to Central Missouri. So that might have happened anyways. Evan Bernstein is going to Northwestern of Chicago, probably not Orange City. Wildy's going to Northwestern, and Bryce Hawthorne's going to Iowa. So those three, if that was on the table for those three anyways, they weren't coming back anyways. And so those are your big losses that we probably would have lost even if Jimmy Rogers stays. Unknowns, Max Bloom and Caleb Frankel are really the only ones that, and then Colby Humphrey, who is also a grad student and may have. Oh, Maxwell Woods doesn't know where he's going either. And Gradowski's probably going to end up at Iowa or Northwestern. So that's my input or take on those. Mostly from, that information all came from Matt. But
right, you can read all that. I was more concerned whether Mark's going to keep his season tickets.
Get season tickets. Isaac's old enough now. You can come back and get your season tickets and come back and sit by us. There's spots.
That's what I was looking for.
That is a goal moving forward, yes.
All right. You can only need to make it 3 games. I made it 3 games. Eric didn't make fun of me at all.
Nope. Close.
Didn't bring it up either.
Yeah, I guess to your point.
Has Dan reached out to you to talk to you about maybe getting on the staff? I don't know, you guys close personal friends, talk and text more than people know.
Right. No, we do not. No. What would I know about football that would show up? I could be a rah-rah guy. Stay happy.
Isn't he bringing a bunch of staff with him?
Well, did either of you guys listen to Stiglmeyer on the happy hour at John Gaskins?
Did not.
Did you guys have you heard of happy hour with John Gaskins?
I heard of it. I haven't. So is the not listening anyway done with Zimmer?
Yeah. Yep. It's turned into this, or that turned into this. Stiglmeyer made a good point when everybody was ticked off about all the staff going with Jimmy. Stig was like, you guys do realize that he kind of needed to take those guys with because they weren't guaranteed jobs at SDSU anyways. And so they needed to go where their guaranteed job was, and that's with Jimmy. And every coach, there's 2 guys on that list that went with Lujan. Is everybody pissed off at Lujan because he's taking our guys? No. It's just the nature of the beast, right?
Dan Jackson's probably doing the same thing coming to South Dakota State.
Oh, yeah. He's probably not taking anybody from New Mexico or that many kids from Idaho that haven't already signed somewhere. But he's looking at kids out of Nebraska that aren't maybe quite there. And now there is some tampering rules, aren't there, that I don't think are ever going to be enforced.
Tampering by who? What are you alluding to?
College coaches tampering with other kids on other rosters at other schools. I don't think you can recruit kids who are at before they enter the portal.
Oh, before, no. Once they
Right.
enter, though, that's why like
Right.
Griffin
But I
had
think
the "Do not call me, I'll call you" clause.
Right, but that's
in his.
like that's why him having that is like, well, who are you talking to? And theoretically, it was Louisville, but who are you talking to while you are still on the Vikes or the Vikes? Got the Vikings in my head already.
You can recruit coaches.
Yeah, coaches is different though than players.
That's what I'm referring to, are coaches.
Oh, okay.
And with coaches, don't you bring players?
Yeah, Dan Jackson will bring 15 to 20 of his own kids. I mean, he needs to because we're losing that many. Oh, yeah. He's going to find some kids out of Omaha, Lincoln. I mean, he's a big Nebraska recruiter, and he knows how to go and find some dudes out of wherever in that portal. Remember, he was at Vanderbilt. Maybe you get a few kids from the SEC coming up here. Illinois.
How bitter was Jimmy when he left?
I don't think he was. Like,
did you read Tucker Kraft's?
I think
what was that all about?
I think that was just the JFPA guys rallying the troops to try and convince these kids to stay without messaging them directly. Now, if somebody does want to message a kid directly, Tucker Kraft, go for it. Because if you're a college kid and you get a message from Tucker Kraft on your Twitter, I mean, you're pretty sure you're going to open it. If you get a message,
didn't he play with a lot of these guys?
He probably played with some of them, yeah.
Yeah, so he has a direct link, I'm guessing, to a few of them. It seemed like he called out Jimmy in the one and then doubled down on it in his second one.
I think he was just telling people that SDSU is a special place, and that's all. Like, nobody should read into it. I don't think he probably has any hard feelings with Jimmy. I could be wrong. I don't know. But, like, listen to Stig's thing. Like Stig said, Jimmy went to go get paid. Good for him. I don't know if it was the smartest decision. Washington State is not on the most steady ground like we talked about last week, but go get paid. I don't know. They go broke and go down to the FCS because they suck. Well, welcome back. Kick the crap out of you when you're at Washington State when they're FCS. Idaho did it. Idaho used to be FBS, and they couldn't make it work and came down to FCS and now had a pretty good football program. Act 2 going to New Mexico. Did you really need a FBS job that bad? Because that is not a good job either. That school had to cut coffee. I think we talked about that last week.
Maybe needed a warmer climate.
That's a big enough guy. I don't think he needs a warmer climate. Albuquerque's up in the mountains, though, isn't it? Isn't it a little bit chilly up there? A little methy.
I guess
there is this isn't an advertisement for nobody's listening, but there was they did do a pod on Wednesday, the way it looks. So that one is still going. I don't. Gaskins is fine,
nobody.
I listened to it more for Zimmer. I listened to it.
Hold on. Stop. He is going to post nobody's listening anyways. It's the same audio. It's the same podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had different titles and different hosts.
He's replaying the Zimmer one on both.
Okay.
I'll look
into it,
Mark.
You're probably right.
Listened to most of them.
You're probably right. I'll definitely listen to them. So anyway, moving on.
I'm intrigued, and I would like it to be announced as to who his assistant coaches are and who his staff is. That's what I'm more intrigued about, because that's what's going to be here hopefully 5 years from now, right? Wow. Packers blowing up. Anyways.
So was this jacked NIL going to get announced last week no matter what? Or it's some type of scramble drill based on all other things going on?
Well, I don't quite understand, because I'm pretty sure there was an NIL or a few NILs already in place that the JFPA, after we were at the national championship last year, JFPA came out with an NIL. I think it kind of fell flat because I don't think everybody was on board. But
so is this, well, help me out. Was this new, or is this something that was just reborn based on other events?
I don't know. I assume it's just something that's reborn and rebranded with a different name.
Oh, it was already there.
There was an NIL. I can remember seeing on Twitter after the championship game that JFPA put out there that they had a collective that they had started. Now, I don't think it got, I don't know, but I question how much funding that it got because not everybody in administration and everybody was on board. Mostly for, I think, for the points that we talked about last week of if you're going to do an NIL, you have to, in a collective, you have to be able to fund it. And I don't think everybody was on board with the idea of funding it because we just didn't have the funds to do it. And I still don't know if we do. Hopefully we do. I don't know. If you guys are going to give money, who are you going to give it to? SDSU or an NIL?
I'm with what you said last week.
Right.
Figure a way to make money without begging donors for putting more on the donors' back.
I think that has to be
creative ways to bring in more revenue.
Right. I think that has to be a part of it.
Like Mark DeGroat season tickets.
That's different, Eric.
I think that's different.
It's funding.
It is funding, yes. But we're saying the NIL. I think they need to figure out different ways to fund the NIL. I still have questions on it. Does the NIL go to the basketball team? If Han needs some good wrestler that's interested in SDSU or Minnesota, is there a little out of that pot to go support that kid? I don't know.
All questions for Justin Sell.
I don't know. Justin Sell can't be a part of the NIL. It has to be, the collectives have to be separate from the school.
He can't be a part of it at all?
No, the school cannot be a part of a collective. It is a third party, independent of the school, basically nonprofit is what you would call it. With the money that is used to pay players, which is never the purpose of an NIL, but the money to be used to give to the players who are then contract employees, so they probably get a 1099, being that it's the tax season that we're getting into here, because they can't become employees of the schools. And so the collective is the way to distribute the money to them independent of the school. So whoever takes this on, I hope they know that they probably have just added a full-time job to their life.
Isn't that Ryan McKnight?
Sure. That's the way it sounds, right? But
how does the school not know what there is for money out there when they're using it as a recruitment tool? And isn't that why? I mean, Jimmy,
all I'm saying
that he's upset that SDSU's not paying the players, so to speak, enough to keep them around.
All I'm saying is that pot of money is not a part of the school. It's independent of the school. So yes, do they probably work with the coaches and the school work with this? Maybe, but I don't know how that all works. I, like you, am just a dude in my basement.
Correct. I don't know how it works either, and it all sounds quite messy when you start seeing headlines of players suing down at Florida State because they didn't get what they were promised. And
well, that's the big thing. What's the name?
Seems like a very, very treacherous road.
Right. What's the name of the kid from Holy Cross? Saluka, that went out to you, and UNLV was maybe we end up with Saluka. Maybe not. Maybe Sluka goes to Washington State. Anyways, but he was promised all these things at UNLV. And then 4 games in, he's like, I have not got anything. And it was like, that's it. I'm done. Took his red shirt because he'd only played 4 games and said, deuces, I'm out. Because that's the other thing. You can't sign a contract. Because if you sign a contract, then you're officially an employee. And then everything that comes with being an employee of benefits and everything else. So you can't sign. So you just have to trust when these people say, yeah, we're going to give you X amount of dollars. Okay. And then if it doesn't follow through, like I don't know. It's like you said, it's messy. And there's has to be a better way to do it.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have to line up a lawyer for it.
Maybe we need McKnight on or somebody who knows more about a collective. If they want to reach out to us and be on our Nobody's Listening Anyways podcast. Maybe we should take that, being that nobody listens.
I don't know. I mean, I don't care any more about that than I do trying to figure out how Major League Baseball pays their players.
They're under contracts.
Thank you.
They are technically employees.
Pay them $1 billion and defer it till 2107. I mean, come on.
Like Bobby Bonilla Day.
I think it would be interesting to get somebody on that does know how it works, because it is a bit of the Wild West yet. So does anybody really know how it works? I mean, players with scouts and
Ohio State
and
knows how
agents and agent. Yeah, I mean, the big schools get it.
But here's the thing.
And they are using it as a recruitment tool.
Right. But half the time, these agents, all these agents, a lot of times it's their high school football coaches or some aunt or uncle who may or may not know what they're doing and have some sort of knowledge.
Just ask AI how it works and report back. Or we can all just look it up for ourselves.
Okay.
I think it's a valid question, though. Is Clough demanding some, okay, fine, I'm probably one of your best players on your team. You want to keep me here? Pony up, guys.
Okay.
I'm with you. I have all the same questions.
Well, one thing that Clough can pony up on is doubles every time he goes out on the court. SDSU opened their home conference season up in Brookings. I was there. SDSU wins 91-70. That one was on CBS Sports Network. Clough goes for 30 points, 19 rebounds. When he's on the court, it would have been fun to have seen him on the court at Colorado and at Nevada. But yeah. I mean, other than that, SDSU in their non-conference didn't lose to any quote-unquote bad teams, those teams with a low net rating or whatever rating system you want to use. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. SDSU looked pretty good. Denver doesn't have any size, so it's tough. They pulled the red shirt on whoever their big kid is, and he's not a big kid. But Oscar Clough is a difference maker for SDSU, and he's on the court.
Yeah, that's smooth transition, Eric. I'll clap for that. Good job.
The very fact that you referenced it unsmooths it.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else you can say about their game the other night. Like, that's what I think the Summit League is going to be this season. If Clough can do that, we're going to be a hard out. And who has a big guy that can guard Clough in the Summit League? That's always been the issue, right? In our men's basketball team is the ability to Summit League teams don't get 7-footers hardly ever. And so when you get a big one like him who's good, makes a difference.
Well, we're going to find out how people are going to deal with that as we take our trip around the Summit League on the men's side with our beer from EBC Brewing and Brookings. Omaha went on the road, Omaha was at home and swept the Omaha went on the road and swept the North Dakota schools. So did St. Thomas. So NDSU and UND both go 0-2 to start the season. And that sets up a really big game on Wednesday that Mark threatened to go to.
Did you get tickets?
The SDSU men will be at St. Thomas on Wednesday night. I think we're going to learn a lot there because just the teams that you thought would be towards the top, including St. Thomas and Omaha, they come out of the gates really well. I mean, SDSU or St. Thomas going on the road and taking out NDSU had started to play better, and UND, who clearly played really well against number 6 Alabama, they get beat by St. Thomas in their home place. I think that says something for St. Thomas starting out the year.
St. Thomas is good.
Yep.
I thought you're right. We'll learn a lot this Wednesday. I did look at tickets; they're only $10 a piece. I'm gonna try really hard to make it.
Try to get the company to buy you one, or
be great. I'm taking up donations.
Oh, that's right. You're gonna be in Mason City, though.
Yeah, so I'll have to make a special trip home to go to
it. I thought NDSU was on the road for both those games. When I saw that those were two big home, I mean, you got to hold. Yeah, you got to hold court at home. To lose those two to start the season off 0-2 at home.
Yep.
Makes it tough. It makes a rough go for the rest of the season. To an Omaha team, is Omaha good?
Apparently.
We'll find out, right?
They will. Well, and then that's what SDSU has to play, because then on Saturday they'll travel down to Omaha.
Right. That's an odd travel partner. Go all the way up to Minneapolis and then all the way down to Omaha.
It's Yeah, it's just a weird weekend for them.
Do they fly? Do they hop on a plane then from Minneapolis to Omaha? That's a 7-hour drive.
I don't know that Phil.
Oh, well, I thought you knew everything about SDSU basketball.
Nope, you literally heard everything I knew just now.
No.
Only
I know where my seats are.
Huh, what's that?
I said I know where my seats are.
That's good. That's good. And
Okay,
are you
and
enjoying
I
the
think
new Frost Arena? Like, is
What's
it
that?
Are you enjoying the new Frost Arena? First conference home game. Students weren't there yet, so
Students weren't there. Not there was maybe 14 students there, not including the band.
Hmm.
No,
Well,
it'll be a good atmosphere when you get going. But we'll get going with the women this week. Women started out on the road. I think, like I might have said it last week. I don't know. I don't go listen to it. But when you look
Hold
at the
on.
women's side, SDSU is clearly the favorite, but ORU is good. They're a very deep, talented team. They're fast, up tempo, and they kind of showed it right off the bat Thursday night. SDSU was in a close one for most of the way. They went 81-76. Katie Vasika, career high 21. What you kind of saw in that game, just based on the box score, is you have to assume the teams are going to start to not be surprised by Brooklyn Meyer and have a plan for her. I watched the Denver game. They didn't execute it very well, but bringing down that double team, fronting her, having somebody play her from the backside, making her, if they can't, step one, have her not get the ball, but step two, when she gets it, she's double teamed and has to kick it back out. And you kind of saw that Thursday night. Brooklyn Meyer only had 6 points. So big night for freshman Vasika, and they get by. Early test on the road. SDSU wins that again, 81-76. And then they go out to Denver Saturday afternoon. Now, Denver's just not that good of a team, but they played with SDSU for the whole first half.
A little bit for a little while in the first half there with them.
Absolutely. Yep. Jackrabbits were actually behind 12-11 after the end of the first quarter. But Brooklyn Meyer then goes out and finishes with 21. And Maddie Mathewitz has 20, Haley Timmer 13, Paige Meyer with 7. But SDSU outscored Denver 68-30 in the second.
Went on a nice 68-30 run to finish off the game.
SDSU for the second, third, and fourth quarter shot 70%.
That's what you're supposed to do against bad teams. It is worth pointing out.
70% is impressive.
Well, yeah, that's really good.
Shooting 70% in a gym by yourself is, I mean,
that's right.
That's pretty good. But to do it
no
in a
defense.
game, right? People passing it to you, like,
it's a lot of layups. It's in it a lot of easy buckets, drives to the basket, that type of stuff.
Watching that game, even the missed shots. I mean, Brooklyn Meyer was just cleaning them up, easy putbacks.
Yeah,
100%.
Right.
Yep,
so you're going to have a high percentage. Yep. And it is worth putting out in the ORU game. Paige Meyer stepped up in that one too with 18 points. So it's nice, even if they take down Brooklyn or keep her from scoring, we've got other players that can step up and score 21 and 18. And Haley Timmer had 11.
Well, right. That would be the idea that, all right, you want to pack it in down low. Well, we'll just beat you at the 3-point line.
Right.
They got to make the decision where you want to get beat.
Yeah.
Because we just have so much talent.
They do.
Right.
100%.
There was attendance at that ORU game was 2,891. Do we believe that?
Why not?
ORU has a tendency to pad their attendance stats. It's a nice crowd if they're
shenanigans on ORU athletics for padding the crowd at a women's basketball game.
They have a pretty well-funded collective, from what I gather.
ORU?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they don't have football. They're in Tulsa. So all their money goes to basketball.
Well, but a collective's a collective, right?
Yeah, but they're not splitting it between 100 football kids too.
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't that what we were just talking about? Like 15 minutes ago?
Well, yeah.
I mean, well-funded is well-funded. You're just saying it's well-funded because it doesn't have to disperse?
As much to as many? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I think AI said it was well-funded. Not much to say with the rest of the Summit League. NDSU gets a win over St. Thomas, which St. Thomas women have generally not been very good. So NDSU gets that on the road. and Omaha beat UND at home. So those teams are both 1-0. Everybody else split, while St. Thomas and Denver are 0-2. You know, the women got Kansas City, women are going to open up at home against Omaha on Thursday and then Kansas City on Saturday. So that should be fun.
Is USD not good? Their women lost to Oral Roberts women.
Yeah,
12.
well, that's not a bad loss. And then they did beat Denver.
No.
So I would say USD did what USD would have been expected to do to start the season. I wouldn't have expected USD to lose to Denver, but
which they did not. Right. Well, I was just wondering. Tucker Kraft is going off.
USD should be right in the middle of the conference, just like I still think you're probably looking at NDSU, SDSU probably standing out.
Right. ORU and USD. I think at least there's 4 decent teams in the conference. That's better than other years. I think we're a step above them all, but at least, we'll get some competitive games.
But I don't know if I assume the students are back now, so we'll see what kind of a conference crowd we get Thursday and Saturday for the Jackrabbit women up in Brookings.
Did we just skip over the rest of the men's Summit League?
Well, I said what mattered was the teams that went 2-0, and that's Omaha and St. Thomas.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the Saturday games, but I'm with Eric. Was it worth?
The fact that NDSU got swept at home and UND got swept at home does include the Saturday games. So
true. Yeah, I know. I was just saying, ORU seems like they're bad, even with their big collective, because they got boat raced by Kansas City.
Well, Kansas City's good. In fact, I think most people were shocked that Kansas City got bounced.
Did you say boat raced?
Yeah, that's a term.
What does boat raced mean?
I don't know. Their asses handed.
You got whooped. That is not a new term, Mark.
It's new to me.
Are you kidding?
Piss missiles. That's a new one to me too.
That's for home runs. That's for home runs.
You've never heard that somebody got boat raced?
No, I haven't.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm just as intrigued as you guys are.
I'm not intrigued by that. I use the terminology.
I'm intrigued that I've never heard you say that before. I've known you a while.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I've said that before.
Phil's been boat racing you your whole life.
Out in the driveway, on the hoop.
The Lincoln Patriots boat raced some people here lately, have they not?
Yeah, had the President's Bowl or President's, I won't call it a tournament because it's just games, but we played Roosevelt on Monday and Jefferson on Tuesday. Yes, we may have boat raced Roosevelt. We beat them maybe by 20. How many points did we beat Roosevelt by? Okay, he's not answering. I think we beat them by 20. That played really well. At first, it wasn't. No, I can't remember. That was a long time ago. It was almost a week ago. Sam had 20 points. I think 6 or 7 rebounds. Who else had a good game? Brody Schaefer, I think, again had a pretty good game. Sam Erickson played well. And then Tuesday we had a game that we needed. We played Jefferson. Jefferson played really well after getting absolutely. I shouldn't say boat race, or run off the court, but it seemed like they did not play their best game on Monday against Washington because I think they lost to Washington by 10. And Washington's a very up and down team. But Jefferson came in. They had a pretty good game plan. We won by 5. They played pretty well. I don't know if we played our best, but still got the W. And it was a good game because we haven't really had a close game yet this year. So that was a nice win against. So now we got to win against all the Sioux Falls public schools. Now we have to go. I don't know where we go this Friday. Aberdeen Central. Long drive.
You driving to Aberdeen Friday, Philip?
Yeah, that's the plan. Leave Friday afternoon. Get back around midnight.
Ugh.
Yeah. AA basketball. Although West Central played Hill City this past Friday. Friday. Could you imagine Hill City having to come all the way here to get the crap kicked out of them by the big Little Bill Cool? and then having to drive back to Hill City. I would assume Hill City has to play 2 games, right? They play another game on Saturday. They just don't come out here for 1 game and go back home.
Right. I don't know who else they're playing. They did play West Central last year as well. So whatever they signed up for, they that game took place last year around the same time too. The boys played Hill City.
Right.
But I don't know what – I mean, there's all kinds of classics that were played on Saturday. I assume that they were part of one of them.
Sure, that they got something.
I didn't think you were going to bring up some stellar Hill City question mark.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just know when we go out to Rapid, we play both the Rapid schools. And like when I was talking to somebody else from Brandon, and when they go out, like when Brandon heads out west, they'll play Spearfish and Douglas or whatever, right? Like you're getting 2 games to make that trip out there. Back to our game.
Yeah, so Hill City then Hill City turned around on Saturday and played Wabash Summit up in Madison in the America's Hometown Classic.
Okay. Played between Dakota.
So they came out for that classic and then played West Central while they were out here.
Yeah, well, good. Back to AA. Yeah. Our game against Jefferson. We just had a few too many turnovers, but Sam Erickson had a really good game. Eddie Knoll had a really good game. Luke Krimke's, I think, had a double, maybe. So they had a game plan they seemed to double Sam quite a bit, but we got enough shots up and enough of those other guys scored that he didn't need to score. Did the other things he needed to do. So what other big game? O'Gorman beat T. Well, on that to be interesting.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say one team that's going to have to score the Vikings tonight.
Yeah, no Vikings gear on for you, Gerlach?
What's that?
You have no Vikings gear?
No. I think I gave it to you. It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit you or doesn't fit me?
Yes.
I think yes on both. It's in the back of my pickup. I do need to get that back to you. They're going white again. I should go get some white Viking shirt, which is what SDSU should do with their collective.
Where are you guys watching the game tonight?
Probably in my home basement.
Sounds like it's on late. I'll go to bed.
Jeez. You ain't gonna watch it?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got a big commute in the morning there, big fella?
You bet.
Probably got 2 games to ref though this week.
Nope.
No reffing at all this week?
Nope, we're getting into the conference season. Only the good ones. Yeah, I do have a game this week. But
yeah.
It's unimportant what I'm doing. Okay. What is important is that we cover 3 headlines and a lie.
Yes.
You got your ears on? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Olympians reveal how much Paris 2024 medals have already deteriorated.
That I can believe. The French. They don't make anything good.
Do they make
what bread? French bread? Okay, I'll give you that. You can get good bread.
Give it to me.
You can get good bread in Italy too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Switzerland? Yeah, that's cheese.
Yeah, and watches.
Yeah.
Knives. And bank accounts.
Yeah,
and bank accounts.
The Swiss, for being non-committal, actually do make a lot of good stuff.
Big deals.
You're right.
Number 2, judge rules candle company can sell celebrities. Big word. Celebrity scents like Nicholas Sage.
Do we think Nicholas Sage really smells like sage? What does sage even smell like?
Isn't it?
I'm not supposed to comment on the headlines.
Oh, I know, but if it were true, what do you think? What's some of the other ones? Kim Kardashian? You want to smell like that? What do we think that smells like?
Kim Snatch.
Whoa!
Did you say socks?
Kim Kardashians.
Yikes.
Wow.
This is an adult show, Mark.
Next.
Oh no, I wanted you to.
Yeah, what other road are we going down?
What other sense do you have?
Third headline. It's official. Biden signs new law designates bald eagle as national bird.
That was already done. Anyways, wasn't there was no law before saying the eagle is the national bird?
Well, I feel
Like what are we doing?
This for like a year. I'm not going to answer your question.
I know you're not answering the questions, but
or you're just thinking out loud. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud how dumb our president is right now. He gave Hillary. Never mind. I'll stop.
Anyway,
these sent Biden's boxers.
What do those smell like? Old baby's diaper. Okay, keep going. Number 4.
Pelosi's
ears.
Oh, never. Oh, hey.
Kamala's ears.
Bottle those up.
It's all right. Next.
Oh, keep going.
Number 4. Study says that people who like loud exhaust are psychotic.
Well,
they are psychotic. That's an absolute fact. People who like loud exhaust, I can hear them on 57th Street and it drives me up a wall. They are psychotic. I'm going with number 3. I feel like the national bird was already a thing.
So Phil picks, it's official. Biden signs new law designates bald eagle as national bird as the law.
It already was the bald eagle as a national bird. Did you know Benjamin Franklin wanted it to be a turkey?
No, I didn't.
Look that up. That's a fact. Yeah, Benjamin Franklin wanted the national bird to be a turkey.
I did know that. I don't know boat race, but I did know that. I'm going to go with number 2. I don't think that's
back to the sense.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Mark's going to be correct. That one was the lie.
That's 4 in a row.
The bald eagle, which has been featured on the Great Seal of the United States since 1782 and has its own Holiday and Protection Act, was never technically assigned the title of national bird.
Oh, well, at least old Sleepy Joe did something good while he was in office.
So that got
I'm sure
done.
there's some listeners that'll disagree with that's the only thing he did, but sorry.
Well, they don't listen to us.
I'm sure some of them do. We'll make fun of Trump too once he becomes president again. Did you like we forgot the hair raisers mailbag? Did you know who the oldest former presidents?
No.
Yeah, one is going to be Donald Trump now that Jimmy Carter has died, and the other one is Joe Biden. They're both older than all the other previous presidents.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Trump is old.
That's great.
He can still do the dance, though.
Yeah, the new study by Western University in Ontario says that you've got a car with a modified exhaust system. Odds are you're a guy and probably also psychotic and sadistic.
And a douchebag. Ooh.
Yes, the data points that person enjoys inflicting unpleasantness on others.
Yes.
Especially the motorcycles.
Like this podcast.
Especially the motorcycles with the music turned up loud.
Motorcycles and music?
Yeah.
No. Probably not a big thing in the winter.
I just sit on a patio every now and then in the summer. Just start picking them off as they drive by.
Like killing them?
Maybe you're psychotic and sadistic.
Jeez.
Well, it's bad enough we got to listen to your motorcycle revving up going down the street, and then you got your music blaring over top of it.
You can hear the music over the motorcycle exhaust?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Well, no, I mean which means holy smokes, what does that sound like to the rider?
Right.
I get it.
They have earplugs in.
That's why I didn't need a study to tell me these people are psychotic. Just like I don't need a study to tell me drinking alcohol is bad for you.
What do you need a study for?
Right. What study are you looking forward to
That's
right now?
right. I can
How quickly we can end this podcast.
Oh, wow. You didn't have to do it. You have been pretty quiet today. I'm disappointed in your lethargy.
I got to go up and make a hot brandy.
That's a drink, right?
Yeah, hot toddy.
Well, I don't know.
German? You're German. You don't know what toddies are? Isn't that
You
a
drink
German
too many
thing?
of them, you're not going to watch the Vikings tonight.
And get
Big
cancer.
game, guys. That's a big game. No holds bar.
What's the over-under mark? Over-under is 52?
Yes, I believe so. I haven't looked at it this morning yet.
Oh, well, if it goes over, Vikings lose easily. If you keep it under, Vikings got a chance.
Oh, no. Vikings can outscore them. Their defense is terrible. The Lions' defense is bad.
Most of them are hurt.
Vikings are putting up 42 points tonight. It's going to be 42-17.
Jeez.
We're going
Detroit?
We're going to boat race the Detroit Lions. The Wolves have bought tickets. Justin Jefferson. There's nobody that can guard Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Just going to throw piss missiles all over the place. Huh?
Sam Darnold is going to old Ginger out there is going to throw dimes all day long.
So it's a pick'em game. It's Detroit -3. So they're getting 3 for being at home, and the OU is 56.5.
You know who I'm picking? I'm picking them Vikings by a mil. Vikings
are we doing picks for the Viking game?
No.
I am. Vikings are going to steal the soul of the Lions.
31-24.
And after they win, the Lions will have to go play Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield, and then Baker Mayfield's going to kick the shit out of them. And the greatest season of Lions history is going to be over in 2 games. F the Lions.
Wow. I'm sure some listeners would disagree with that take, too.
There's only like 6 Lions fans in all of
South Dakota.
Yes.
World.
Right. And it's Mike Hendrickson and Stu Whitney, and I highly doubt they listen to this podcast. So
I saw a headline this morning. Vikings purchased over 1,900 tickets on the visitors' side for $1 million.
Wow. Do you get your news like 2 days late?
I don't know. They had it on the news this morning.
There's no visitors' side.
Behind the Vikings bench.
Behind the Vikings bench. Cost them $2 million. They sold them to see the Ziggy Wilf did that. Serp. Ziggy did that and then sold them to season ticket holders for $200 a piece. Basically gave away $1 million of his own money because he's a good owner.
I'm sure he can afford it.
Yeah, he can. Yeah. What do they do? That's what we need to do. Real estate.
They're probably not sitting here doing a podcast at 1:17 on a Sunday afternoon.
No, because they're in Detroit ready to monkey stomp a bunch of freaking Lions.
But now I have heard you say monkey stomp over and over again.
Yeah. I don't know who's stomping monkeys or where that came from. Sounds like when you sit back and think about it. It's like,
monkeys are evil.
They are evil and full of rabies.
They're
We got to get off this podcast like a rape ape.
What? You have to poop? What?
No, I got stuff I got to do.
Oh, okay. Well, Gerlach, have fun with Howie at the Gateway.
That's not the way we end the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Can we end it with a Skull Vikings and then a
Mark? Good luck. Have fun at the football or basketball games. Got women's games all week, right?
Yep, women's games Thursday and Saturday. And which means we'll be getting EBC. Can we be back in the basement next week or not? Like back to our regular time? This early afternoon threw me off a little bit. Well, I didn't know what to say because you're going mid-afternoon, which that doesn't work.
I knew that wasn't going to work for you. That would cut into some golden tea, and I didn't want to do that to their egg guy.
Well, since the Vikings will have a bye week next week, I'm open all day Sunday.
Hell yeah. Did you know that the Lions came back from San Francisco at 6:30 on Tuesday morning? That's why we're going to beat the shit out of them. They're tired. They're weak. And they aren't the same team that we played. And we're not the same team as that played them at the beginning of the season. Skull Vikings.
It's a hot take, Philip.
It is a hot take.
A hot take.
That's right. Let's just let it steam. Go big.
Go blue.
Go Jacks.